Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello and welcome to Primetime Local News. My name is Randy Cormish and thank you for joining us. Synergy Credit Union, Connexus Credit Union, and Cornerstone Credit Union are recommending to merge as one big entity. The next step now, since the three boards have agreed to a merger, is a member vote, which will take place in early June. The unions believe that working together will create a stronger credit union, which will benefit members.
We cover 4 generations of members, and 4 generations have a lot of different needs, right? So technology is one of the things that we really need to look at. So the members will benefit from better technology stack and, again, being more competitive.
If the merger is approved, there will be a combined 200,000 members, and the union would be in the top 10 for largest credit unions in Canada. If members are looking for more information, there are many resources available.
Stop in the branch and ask one of us if you have questions. We also have a lot digitally, so I would just engage you to go to synergycu.ca, our website, and we have a microsite that it would take you to with a whole bunch of information around the merger. So those are the best 2 options, digitally, or just give us a call, stop in a branch.
Lloydminster Council is outlining their plans for the future of the city, recently passing their advocacy priority list. In its first year for the city, the priority list highlights what Lloydminster can do to improve the community, encouraging organization, as well as identifying initiatives that plan for the long term in the border city.
By having this list, it also gives assistance to administration. They can do some background work before time on that as well. From that perspective, they have a general idea of what we're looking for going forward from that perspective to take forward to provincial or the federal government or both.
Some of the items on the list include access to health and social services, housing, and funding from the other levels of government.
Some of those items are not in the council's preview as our responsibilities and why taxes are collected, yet we continuously hear about healthcare as an example. I think that one is seniors' concerns, education. Those are items that are not in our direct preview or responsibility, yet councils actually and myself are often called upon to speak on behalf of the community on those issues.
The priority list lasts for the duration of 2025 and will likely be updated next year. The Lloydminster Comprehensive High School hosted a talent show for their students this morning. Aristate Lazo has the details.
From singing and dancing to playing musical instruments, the students and teachers of LCHS showcased their impressive skills today.
So the idea of this talent show was an idea called Connect the Dots. Our goal this year is to connect with every student in the school in some way. Whether it be a dance, whether it be the car and truck show we're doing in June. And here's another example. We have kids in this performance who I've never seen before today or during these dress rehearsals. And it's just a way to showcase another part of our school. We have good sports teams. They get showcased pretty well. We have drama productions. They get showcased. And Art does a great job promoting their material. And we just thought, hey, let's do this one too. And so we have 4 pep rallies a year, and we're hoping this will be a new tradition that the 3rd pep rally will be a talent show.
The school featured 10 numbers performed by students and teachers who spent weeks preparing for the big show.
The key is, first of all, this year, we get to showcase all these different kids, but also I'm hoping there's a bunch of kids watching right now, and they're like, oh, I wish I would have signed up for this. So this was an open call, then we had auditions. And so we had 20 access time audition, we picked 12. We're hoping next year to have more, because I already had 2 kids ask me, how did you sign up for this? So I think this is hopefully a beginning of a tradition that we do year to year.
Not only was this a fun way to get their students together, but the show also serves as a way to show appreciation to the music community at the high school and maybe even encourage some to join in.
I think I decided to join the talent show because I think it's really good for our community, and what I mean by that is like the grade 9s, 10s, and 11s to keep the music industry and stuff alive in Lloyd, especially our band program, to kind of motivate lots of people to join it if they're not interested in music or spark an interest in them.
What started as a way to boost the school spirit has now laid the groundwork for what could become an annual celebration of student talent and creativity. Astarte Lazo, Primetime Local News.
The days are getting warmer as we move through April. Our Elaine Hoffert spoke with a meteorologist to find out if spring has really sprung.
I'm joined here today with Peter Quinlan, who's a meteorologist with Global News Saskatoon. So spring is officially here. That happened a little while back in March, but now the weather's starting to catch up with that. Can we expect that long term, Peter?
We're going to see this really warm weather linger right into the foreseeable future, actually, Lane, and we're going to see, we're talking daytime highs into those teens. It's going to be pretty fantastic all around. We will see a slight cool down over the weekend as those daytime highs get down toward lower double digits on Saturday. That's still not too bad, and then maybe sneaking into single digits, but just briefly on Sunday, and we're still talking 9 degrees. Chance of a few more clouds rolling in, but then next week this ridge of high pressure builds back in the heat and the teen temperatures.
So you know the classic saying, of course, April showers bring May flowers. Can we expect a lot of rain in this kind of earlier part of spring and maybe even into the summer some more?
Unfortunately, we don't have major moisture in the foreseeable future. April showers are looking a little sparse, at least through to the middle of the month. We still have a bit of an uncertainty in terms of what's going to happen later in the month. So it does look like that could be a bit of a trend this spring, that we might be seeing drier than normal conditions. Hopefully not, but at this point, that's what it's looking like.
So even though the temperatures are kind of just in those teens and not super, super hot, that sun is shining quite bright. Is it important for people to maybe wear sunscreen and think about protecting their skin when heading outside?
Yeah, so as the sun gets higher in the sky in the spring season, it's often something we don't think about when it's still cooler outside, but we do need to make sure we are putting on sunscreen if you're out for any length of time. We're still looking at UV indexes around a 4, which is moderate, and even up to 6 at times. So that means your skin can burn in about half an hour. So especially as we get toward those longer days where the sun is more overhead, more direct, UV damage is a real concern, and you want to make sure you're putting on sunscreen.
All right, and what kind of summer can we expect?
It does look like the overall trend in terms of our seasonal forecast models, which you should take with a grain of salt. There is a degree of uncertainty with them. But at this point, they are showing warmer and drier than normal conditions for the Midwest region around Lloydminster into the Lakeland as well. That will be the overall trend that we are anticipating. That doesn't mean there'll still be some cooler and wetter days, but that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of a prognosis from spring right through into summer.
All right, Peter, just one last question for you. You did mention that we maybe won't be getting the amount of rain that most farmers want to see. How's that going to affect the growing season that we have here in Saskatchewan and Alberta?
Yeah, it could be a pretty dry growing season, so keep that in mind. We have seen most of that snow melting in many areas quite rapidly at this point, so we are really going to need some spring moisture to help make up for a bit of a moisture deficit.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, Peter. Thanks a lot for joining me and taking the time to answer them.
Yes, thanks for having me, Lane.
Creative Edge Publicity has been helping authors of all genres get their work out into the public for 10 years now. Abby St. John has more with the owner of Creative Edge.
On this show, we talk to a lot of authors and writers and talking about their books. And today we're going to be talking about the guy behind the books, the publicist behind it. I'm very happy to be joined here today by Mickey Mickelson. He is the owner of Creative Edge. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Abby, thank you so much for having me, and thanks for the support the last 3 years all of you have given us.
Of course, I love reading. I love books. So being able to talk to authors is so much fun. And you are the guy behind it. You are the guy who gives us the authors and connects us with them. And we very much appreciate it. But today we're going to be talking about you and Creative Edge. And you're celebrating 10 years, which is a huge milestone. So first, congratulations on the 10 years. And tell me a little bit about Creative Edge, just for those who may not know about your company.
So yes, we've been in the business since 2015, March of 2015. Our focus is on traditional media scope. So we represent about 100 authors worldwide. We have some New York Times bestsellers. We have some USA Today bestsellers, and our goal, and international indie bestsellers. And our goal is really to focus on traditional media, Stingray TV, case in point, magazines, podcasts, book reviews, editorials in newspapers and magazines. That's where our standpoint is. And we've been able to branch out beyond the writer scope to represent some musicians who write books as well, actors who write books. So it's been a double-pronged attack that's worked wonders for us overall in the last 10 years.
Yes, so that sounds amazing, and it's a great process. And of course, it seems to be working for you as you have, like you said, been in the industry for 10 years, or this company has been in the industry for 10 years. That's amazing. Now, there is a bit of a difference between indie authors and traditional authors and stuff. So, how is that process like when you have different authors, like, or if you have represent indie authors comparatively to those traditional authors? What is that process like?
So our process is pretty similar with everybody we represent. Our focus is, and truth be told, our focus is really not just the book. We want the media to know about the individual because we feel from an organization standpoint that that's going to be just as important as what the book they're writing, because they're going to write more than one book if their career is writing. So they might write in multi-genres. They might write a children's book. They might write a horror book. They might write a science fiction book. Or they might branch out into music like a couple of my clients have. So when we're pitching clients to mediums such as yourselves, our focus is the branding of the individual and catering to that with hope of all success, and then talk about their product, which is obviously books or music or whatever.
Absolutely. And I think as fans, you want to know more about who is writing this world, or like you said, the musician or the actress or actors who are writing their books or whatever. You want to know more about them and not just what they're writing. So I think that's awesome that you focus on that as well, that you're focusing on not just the material, but the artists themselves and the writers themselves. So now this is 10 years in the making. How have you seen the book world grow in the last 10 years? Because it has grown. I've seen it as a reader myself, and different interests, different genres that are coming out. So how as a publicist, have you seen it grow?
It's been a journey, Abby. It's been crazy because when I started, I knew nothing about this industry. I walked into it completely blind, trying to leverage contacts and try to leverage media, not knowing how to write a proper press release, not knowing what to pinpoint, whatever. In the last 10 years, it's been much, much different. There's lots of rules within the traditional media scope around the books saying you have to follow these rules. 3 to 6 months, you stop promoting a book because no one's going to be of interest anymore. We don't do that. We break all the rules. We're promoting books that are 2 years old and we're getting them on magazine covers. So it's all about how you develop relationships. It's all about collaboration. In the last 10 years, how you develop those relationships and those collaborations have been different. What worked 15 years ago won't work now from a relationship standpoint. So that's the whole goal of it. And I'm sure that 5 years from now, it's going to even change the game through influence of social media, AI, everything like that.
Absolutely. And I think the success from you comes from knowing that you do have to grow with the times. Some people do get stuck in their ways a little bit. So it's great that you acknowledge that the industry is always growing, it's always changing, and you're changing and growing with it, which is amazing. And I can see that the authors really gravitate towards that as well, because they're being, appreciated, not just for the work that they do, but who they are as an individual, which is amazing. Now, if anybody sees this and they are an aspiring author, or they have some books that they want to publish, how can they get in contact with you and Creative Edge?
So my website's www.creativeedge-services. My email is mickey.creativeedge@gmail.com. Everything is there. My clients on my website are there. There's a Google form you can reach out to, all of that. But please note, anyone who's contacting us, we have to have a book in hand. We don't publish the books. We're simply marketing those books and those products specifically. So
wonderful. Well, it was great talking to you. And again, congratulations on the 10 years and 10 years to come.
Thank you so much, Abby, and thanks to Singer for the support.
That's all for news. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your closing market.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
The Lloydminster Border Kings had their final hockey game in the Centennial Civic Center against the Onion Lake Border Chiefs. Our Thomas Waldman has more on the special games and memories of the Civic.
The Centennial Civic Center saw a lot of great hockey on its ice for the past 50-plus years, and former members of the Lloydminster Border Kings and the Onion Lake Border Chiefs wanted to reminisce with the scrimmage before the building is taken down.
Clint had reached out to me, and we were talking about this being it for the Civic Center, and Clint played with us with the Border Kings for a number of years, and our friendship goes back a long, long time, and we reminisced about the times that the Border Chiefs and the Border Kings had great hockey games over the years. Spent a lot of time in this rink and have a lot of respect for it, and thought, let's get together for one more game.
For those from Onion Lake, the Centennial Civic Center also holds lots of fond memories, including Treaty 6 tournaments.
Many of our Treaty 6 hockey championships were actually played here back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And back in the 70s, most of the team that was playing tonight on our team with the Border Chiefs, quite a few of those guys actually played their first hockey game here at the Civic Center, including myself.
Plenty of volunteers and friends of the teams were also in attendance for the scrimmage, and while the Border Kings did end up with the win, both teams had a great time in their last hurrah at the Civic.
It was excellent. That's right, guys from 50 and up, and some really close friends between both teams, and so great to see our friends that skate with the Border Chiefs, and when you get together as friends and have a match like that, it's so much fun.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, Local News.
Midwest Family Connections is hosting an Adverse Childhood Experience event on May 27th to help individuals heal and grow from their past. I got the chance to speak with someone involved to learn more. Today, I'm joined by Nicole Robinson, who is the Director of Programs and Services at Midwest Family Connections. And today, we're just going to be talking about an event that is coming up in May. So thank you so much for joining me today, Nicole. Could you just start off by telling me a bit about the Adverse Childhood Experience event and what people attending can expect?
So Adverse Childhood Experiences, or ACEs, is a term that's used to refer to any potentially traumatic event that occurs before the age of 18 that can then have a lasting impact on the health and well-being of an individual. And so the event that we're hosting is looking at those adverse childhood experiences, the impact that it can have on an individual's health and well-being, deepening the understanding of that, and then fostering hope and looking at how connection and resiliency can lead to healing for those individuals and sort of reverse some of those impacts.
Okay, awesome. And what do you believe the importance of the event is?
So, like I said, just when we understand the impact of adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, we deepen our understanding, and then it's really about, like, once we have that understanding, we can create that space for hope, resiliency, and healing. And when we think about a healed individual, then being able to go on and support the healing of others, or just having those improved outcomes in their life around mental health and well-being. It's just really important that in Lloydminster, amongst all the community providers that we have in the community, having like this shared understanding and commitment to supporting families and understanding that impact of ACEs on them. And not only understanding that impact, but then creating that space for hope, resiliency, and healing.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there an age limit for the event?
Yes, so we are offering it to community organizations here in Lloydminster and for professionals who are over the age of 18.
Okay, perfect. And where and when is the event going to take place?
So it's May 27th, and it's happening here in Lloydminster at the exhibition grounds.
Okay, perfect. And where are people able to sign up for the event?
So registration will just be through Eventbrite. There is a small cost to attend, $55, and that just helps cover the costs of sponsoring the event.
Hey, awesome. And will there be lunch included?
There is. Lunch will be provided.
Okay, perfect. And then, yeah, is there just anything else you wanted to add for anyone that may be interested in attending or wanting to learn more about the event?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Midwest Family Connections, our mission is to support the families who we're connected to in a strength-based way while recognizing the complexities that may exist for families. And so really hoping to share that messaging out in community and encouraging other community professionals who are wanting to deepen their understanding to attend and collectively think about how we can support the hope, healing, and resiliency for those who've experienced ACEs, and really having that trauma-informed approach as we're also looking at the work that we do in collaboration with others.
Okay, awesome. And yeah, that was all the questions I had for you today, Nicole. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this, and I appreciate you telling me more about the event. Now we will take a look at your adorable pets with our Pets of the Day.
Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Thank you for joining us. My name is Randy Cormish, and have a great rest of your day.